Hi, and welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence, and today we're going to take a look at the GI Joe Classified Iron Grenadier. Now, I'm not going to lie, this was one of my favorite GI Joes. I guess as a kid, but it was really towards my time of coming out of collecting, or not collecting, playing with GI Joes. But I always thought this guy was awesome. I always looked at this guy as the upscaled version of the Crimson Guards. And hopefully this one kind of matches up. And we know he's not exactly like the original, but we're going to compare him right there to the original O-ring, and we're going to see exactly how many cues they took from this. But let's be honest, we're kind of seeing how the Retro Viper is, Retro Duke, Beachhead. When they eventually do a retro version of this, he'll probably be more classic to what we got as a kid. But anyway, here we can kind of see everything that he has. It says Iron Grenadier on it, GI Joe in the very basic package, but we're going to open them up, so it doesn't really matter that much. Here we have number 132. He's got the sword right there, and then down here we have all his attributes, and then the QR code that leads you straight to hell. And then on the back here, we have him holding the weapons that he does come with, and they just try and point out a couple different things, but real cool photography there, and you can kind of see a few things in the background. So I'm excited to get this thing open. Let's see how well this figure is. But before we do, if you like this type of content, you like GI Joe stuff, please take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a GI Joe video. Now let's get to this. Okay, so we got him out of his package, and not only are we going to look at everything he comes with, we're going to look at what he should have come with. So we'll start off with the weapons here, and first we have Big Ben's machine gun. It is somewhat straight. Well, quickly, we've seen this weapon a few times. It's stiff enough. As long as it stays straight, I'm okay. Barrel's going to be a little soft, but it's going to bend back into place, same with the stock. It has the red and gold bullets, but the gold kind of matches his motif, I guess you would say. You have the red barrel or drum. We have a bipod built into it in red. And I really don't mind this because Cobra always did weird things like this. You got the handle up here. You got the port for blast effects. All right. Trigger guard. Nice looking stock. It is a decent looking machine gun. This does come off. All right. And once it pops it right back on. This is what happens when you try and do it looking through the phone rather than... And the bullets go right in there. All right. It would be really cool if they made some shell casings like, being shot out here. But again, this does look pretty good if you're into this weapon. Here we have Big Ben's other weapon, the double-barreled M4. Now, I don't mind a double-barreled, but I think it should be unique to a specific character. So you have blast effects for both. This is a real-world weapon. All right. Here we have a magazine. It looks like it almost looks like it's supposed to be a double magazine, which I really didn't even notice before. I mean, I'm not crazy, right? That is a double magazine. Look at that. That is a double magazine right there. So that's actually kind of interesting. I didn't even realize that. But trigger guard, you got the red grip. Be careful. I know with Big Ben, this thing seemed to not even be on. Since then, since I made it, it seems to be a little bit better. I love the idea, but they tend to fall off. It's got the sight right there. All in all, it's a decent weapon. It is straight. Okay. Honestly, I never really looked at how this is. The rail system is more aligned over here. And again, it has some flexibility to it. As long as it's not soft and just... I don't get that mad. We're going to go back, way back, to Destro's original blaster that always remind me of the the Rebels from GI Joe. This was before they had any type of blast effect or port. You got the big scope on here. Now, I don't mind this because Destro is a weapons dealer. If you look at his original gun, You can see where you got the idea from it. It's got the nice gold painted on it. It doesn't look bad. And just a bunch of little dials and stuff that, or little rigids in it, just to make it look more futuristic. That's what they were going for originally. And then we have this weird revolver pistol. Again, no port for blast effects. This was Destro's gun that he actually came with. It is bent. It is very flimsy, unfortunately, and very disappointing. The gun is perfectly fine. I don't mind this type of stuff because you imagine Destro as a weapons dealer. He's probably making some type of weapon. Then we get his sword. Now this is something you absolutely need because they're ceremonial in some ways, and you can see this guy actually has his own. It is the exact same sword that comes with the Crimson Guard. Got the black handle. It has some sort of snake on it right there. Now you would think they probably wouldn't have a snake because this is the Iron Grenadiers, but once again, things come down to budget. It is somewhat straight. Alright, so I don't care that it flexes as long as it stays straight, and I think I made it worse there. This thing here, unfortunately, is a little bent, but I really don't have them fighting with this, but that's beside the point. They should be straight. It does have the port where you can kind of, or the plug so you can plug it in. Looks really good. Then we have our helmet. And this piece here was very integral to the Iron Grenadier, and we'll compare it in a minute. But they painted it gold. It's got the strap around the back. Helmet looks pretty good. This is the only place they put any paint on it, and I'm okay with that. Alright. Although maybe they put some, I think the band may be, because everything else is has a sheen to it, and then this is more dull. So I think it's actually painted like that, so it comes off looking like that. Alright. Now, as I mentioned, you got the same sword here that came with the Crimson Guard. You have the same blaster, you can actually call a blaster, and gun that came with Destro. Again, these were more solid and stiff. I can't tell you what Hasbro is doing. This is Destro with the stupid eyebrows. I don't know what Hasbro is doing, to be 100% honest. Some of their weapons are becoming better. They're more rigid, the way we want them. And then the other ones, not so much. Alright, so now let's take a look at this Iron Grenadier. And I am super excited to get this figure because it's another troop builder that, well, I think we've all been waiting for. Alright, so quickly we'll take a look at his helmet. And he has this very nice looking, I guess once we compare to Iron Grenadier, kind of reminds me of Darth Vader. Has a ventilator, it looks right there. Nice silver paint. You get the red. You look at him from here. I mean, they give so many different Star Wars vibes. And I'm not even hating on that at all. Little gold, you can see where this thing's going to unlatch. So you could take it off. That definitely gives you some Kylo Ren. Yes, I do know who Kylo Ren is. I'm just trying to act like you didn't know those movies. Silver all the way around. And I'm not sure if he's supposed to have a damaged head. But it sure does come off that way. So I guess technically you don't even need to have the helmet on if you don't want, but we'll throw it on here so you can see exactly how he looks. Alright, so from what I can tell, the boots and the legs are the exact same as the Crimson Guard. And then he has a different torso altogether. Alright, so you do have this softer cape now, or trench coat, I believe is actually what it is. It is going to cause some issues when it comes to moving him around. Not too much you can do about that. He's got the tie. He's got the gray shirt right there. I don't know, I had a hard time talking just a second ago. You can see his insignias on the inside there. Nice red to accent the color that he has. And then you have the gold and the red running through here. I'm going to assume that we can put this weapon back here. All right, and then we can put the pistol right back here. All right. All in all, good looking figure. These arms, I know we've reused a few times. I believe they are the Stalker arms. Again, I don't know. And then we have that nice little skull right there. So let's compare them, and then we'll get into the articulation quickly. So I definitely need to have this. So we did come with a ceremonial sword. And as you can see, they went with a very similar color. All right. I think it would have been cooler if they would have had something. They could have kept the same sword, but maybe did a different sheath, especially at the bottom. This had a strap, so you can either put it on his shoulder or put it on his side. And then they give him a small gun. We get the big gun. And then we get this thing right here. All right. This gun here. If you have one of these, please be careful, because the last thing you want to do is break that. All right. So, looking at the helmet there, the same fin, and you can even see it has the same strap that goes around the helmet. We can already see the shoulder piece is very similar, although they put texture in the middle there, the gold and red, and it runs all the way down, same here. And then you look at the mask, and they left the ventilator right there. Never realized it was a ventilator. But I always thought this was, it looked like a cloth with something underneath it. But you can see that it does have a little bit of mechanics on it. But we can't see underneath if there's, well, I guess there's the goggles right there. I just think they did a wonderful job of recreating it. Now, they did a whole different body. This is more of a soldier in my mind. Now all they got to do is give it just a regular body, and you have this, right? And you can recreate this guy, do a whole red paint, maybe not do the black when they're ready to do it. We're going to remove this. All right. He has a skull. I can't say he has the exact same piece there, but you can see the pouch. They recreated the pouch. Unfortunately, no pouches on the side. But rather than have the red knee pads and the red outlines here, they put it on the trench coat. On the back, you even kind of got these little waves in it, just like his back. Boots are black, although they did gray pants. So, the one thing about this figure that I always loved is this. Now, this is a modified Uzi of some sort. So why did you not give him this? Because this is what he needed, and I have extra ones. Thank you to Johnny Reno or Cage's Customs, whatever you want to call them. I have extra ones, and hell, look at these two things. Even the stock looks very similar. So you better believe that he'll be rocking, at least one of mine, when I get multiple, will be rocking this. So that was the thing that he was missing. Now let's take a look at the articulation. So I'm going to take the helmet off here. He can somewhat look up. He can look down, look side to side. You get a T-pose. Now, it's almost looking like, that's about, oh, you know what I know? Oh, look at that. I totally missed that. Iron Grenadier is right there. They didn't have that. I totally missed it. What the heck? Is that a little paint? Oh, no. It's supposed to be like that. Okay. That's as far as it goes up. I think. I guess we can get it more. You probably have to heat it up. There we go. That's perfect. It just kind of dips inside there. Onto the Iron Grenadiers. The two swords, which look very similar to this, rather than what they gave, including, you can see the straps there. All right. Bicep swivel. Double pinless elbows. And then you got your wrist swivel. All right. Looks pretty good. maybe. Okay. He's going to have the ab crunch, which is not hidden, so you're able to give a pretty good range of motion backwards and forward, and you can turn side to side. The Jean-Claude Van Damme, he does have it, but this is going to really cause you from doing too much unless if we fold it out like so. Drop down hips, got your thigh swivel, double pinless knees, got your boot swivel, and then you have your ankle rocker. All right, and if he stays true, this is a figure that can do nice running poses, but sometimes they tend to want to lean forward because that toe goes up and it tends to rock them forward. So, quickly looking at this, I think this is a really good figure, but there's something that I did notice, and that is I want to pop this head off. And maybe, just maybe, you're like me. You've ordered a whole bunch of Fresh Monkey Fiction Monster Force figures. Now, you're going to need a little bit of sticky tack, but look at that. It even has the shark fin on it. Look at that. That is pretty sweet. This one fits perfect. This is one of the Sleepwalkers. So you just have to go figure out which one it is. I'm not sure because there's so many. You use a little bit of sticky tack. You pop that thing down, and the blacks tend to match. It has the shark fin. You have the red that matches, and you can change these ventilations all you want. So, or hell, maybe we can go with this one right here. Maybe we want to change it to this guy. All right, and throw this head on it. Look at that. Woo! Right now, people are going, ooh, Operation, what was that? Operation Monster Force, only at BBTS, Big Bad Toy Store. You can get these, and they come with multiple heads. So, or we can throw on maybe this red one. All right, look at that. The red one, the red does match to a point. It looks like it's kind of beat up. But again, all kinds of things that you can do if you want. All right. Pop this head back on. Get this guy out of my way. I'm right up there. Pop this guy on because this is what you guys came to see. And now I'm showing you. All right. Throw the helmet back on. Now let's pose him out and see how well he looks. So if you don't drop that, you don't have to reach out and grab it. Here we go. Throw it over here. Pegs right in there. Gonna throw the gun on the back here. This gun. So yeah, two guns on his back, or waist on his back, towards his back, and then you're going to have one of the rifles, whether it be the M4 double-barreled. And I think actually, in some ways, the double barrel tends to work for, let's say, Destro Squad. All right. Pull that down here. And now you're kind of just, he's just walking along with it. You know, you can get him to stand. So I happen to try one, basically on 1 foot right now. Believe me, I don't know why I'm doing this. You guys have stayed long enough. So there you go. These guys get in these like really weird running stances. I can do it all the time. Well, of course not on camera. And I don't know why the Crimson Guard really fit this really good stance like this. They're like the best figures to be on the one foot and one toe. All right. The sexy sniper pose. Trademark Coco Smooth, the casual collector. All right, we know how he loves it. See how this thing, I almost swore. I almost swore right there. Magazine fell out. Just be careful with that handle. That is going to be something 20 years from now. That's what's going to be worth money. Is those stupid handles on all of these guns. All right. So there you go. It's going to be a little bit harder because without that, let's be honest, he's not using this gun. At least not in a firing pose. So very disappointed. This gun had so much potential. Here we have the machine gun. And once again, another issue is the stock is too long. It will bend into place. The stock is too long. They need to shorten that stock. But he has nowhere to grab. And that's very disappointing. Very disappointing. Not a fan of the weapons that he does come with for them. But we can get him on in the one knee pose. So he's actually firing into the crowd of GI Joes. So all in all, there you go. Take a look at your figure. You decide if you want him or not. Oh, I know what you wanted to see. How does he look with this gun? Well, let's be honest. I'll pop this thing on him. And I can just tell you, he looks better with this, along with his sword and sheath. Right? And then we'll put him next to Mini-Me. I know they didn't give him the red handgun, and I don't really care. I never understood that gun, to be 100% honest. But I'm actually surprised they didn't. But I'm sure when they give a retro card, they will. So here he is next to his Mini-Me. How does he look with this? Way better, in my personal opinion. They're just elite troops that should have something special. All right, so here it is, the GI Joe Classified Iron Grenadier. Again, one of my favorite looking figures, I think, as a kid, even though it was on my way on the outs. Is he perfect? No. Is he missing something? Yes, he misses the Uzi. But again, you can probably find an Uzi in your collection if you've been collecting all these figures. I'm not a huge fan of some of the weapons, just to how they're made, and I kind of explained that during it. But as for the figure himself, he is absolutely wonderful in many ways, and he is different than the original O-ring, which I showed off. I think what we will see eventually is a retro version, and when that comes, I'll be happy to get that. But this guy, I think he fits the bill perfectly fine. Now you know we need an Iron Grenadier Destro, and it's really only a matter of time, right? You can't have the Iron Grenadiers and not give us a version of Destro. But until then, we'll have to deal with this one and the Iron Grenadier Bat and Metalhead. All right, so there you go. That is the GI Joe Classified Iron Grenadier. I've been waiting for this figure. First thought is that I think he's really good. He's not the OG O-ring, and I know that's going to bother a lot of people, but these are supposed to be classified. We need something updated, although I loved the OG look. So I have a feeling that eventually we will get at least his design, maybe not the actual guns, but there's so many different companies that are making 3D printed guns that you can probably get some. Or maybe you have a bunch of Snake Eyes, or you have a bunch of snipers. The Marine Sniper, they come in just painted black. Anyway, there you go. If you like him, go pick him up. Okay, he's going to be available very soon. I will post links in the description to Entertainment Earth and Entertainment Earth, Amazon, and Hella Dope Toys, where you can get 10% off if you use my code APWT. Anything in stock or pre-order. But anyway, there you go. Go pick them up. Before we leave, please take a second. If you're on Facebook, go to the Facebook group page, Punks with Toys, because once you join, you're a punk with toys. Now, don't go anywhere. Please, you stayed this long. Take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a GI Joe Classified video. Now, don't go anywhere. You love this stuff here. Up here will be a GI Joe figure. It's been so long since I've reviewed one. I don't know who it is. And down here will be the playlist of all the classified figures I've done. Take care.